Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Mr. David here at Mindful Life Project in Richmond. I'm a lead trainer. Really happy that you chose to watch today because that shows that you care about your own health and well being. So, it's going to be a short intro video to the week when we talk about heartfulness and emotions and what those are. So, we've already discussed in past videos what mindful breathing is, mindful listening. Last week we did body awareness, and we're going to practice a little bit of those in our mindful sit again. And we even talked about the brain science and what mindfulness is as well, right? So, in the brain science, the front of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, the lower brain, we have an organ called the amygdala. And when we practice mindfulness, we're trying to strengthen our prefrontal cortex and make it stronger and cool down our amygdala downstairs activity so that we can be more in control, more focused, less judgmental, making better decisions, better able to control ourselves, all of those things. And mindfulness can certainly help with that too, right? So, check in. How are you doing right now? Just a personal check in wherever you are, just knowing that's okay in this moment and I see you. And it's okay to feel how you want to feel in this moment. There's no expected way you are supposed to feel right now. Okay, so mindfulness, what is it again? So, really quickly as a review, mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment, here and now, without judgment. So, we're going to jump right into our practice of practicing what we're noticing, simply noticing with curiosity and non judgment. What's happening with our body right now? What sounds do we hear right now? How about our breath as a way? All of those things help us connect to the present moment. So that's a huge part of the practice so that when our mind's wandering, when we got a lot of emotions and thoughts, we don't get too carried away. We can come back to sound, we can come back to breath, we can come back to body as many times as we need to. So get your bodies ready, repeat after me. I got my feet on the floor, got my spine in a line, got my hands in my lap, and my heart to the sky. And at this time, feel free to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. If not, not a problem. It's an invitation, not a command. You may look down softly below you. We're going to start with some mindful listening and the sound of the bell. Just allow yourself a moment of stillness and silence to check in with yourself. You have permission to do nothing right now. You're always asked to do something, right? You always feel like you got to get something done. But right now, we don't have to get anything done. We're taking some time for ourselves, kind of a time out, time in. And just allow your thoughts to settle, allow your body to settle. Give it the time and the care it needs. You can first see if you can notice a sound around you, one or two sounds. See if you can name that sound, what it is. Remember, we're not judging it, good or bad. We also, if we're comfortable, want to tune into our breath. So you can always put a hand on your belly or chest if you like. You don't have to. Just notice that you're breathing in and out. And you can take a deeper breath in and let it go. Just hitting that reset button. And now, with a friendly flashlight of awareness, one part of our body at a time, just tune into your own personal space, your body. Notice your feet, where they are right now. Notice your knees, the weight of your body in the chair. Notice your back. Is it straight or slouched? Notice your shoulders and neck, your jaw. Are you holding any tension there that needs to be released? You can notice and release. Notice your belly and your chest, the rise and fall as you breathe. Notice your arms down to your hands, your fingertips. If your hands are clenched, just slightly release. See if you can do that. And focusing on your whole head and your face. Loosen any areas that need it. Noticing without judgment. If our mind's been wandering, it's not a problem. We can come back to our body over and over. From head to toe, reverse body scan. Take a nice deep breath in and out. With the sound of the bell, when you can no longer hear it, please open your eyes. Slowly coming back. The bell's still going. I'm going to let it go off to the side here. All right. Thank you for taking the time for you. Really important for yourself. Because we know there's a lot going on right now. A lot. And, connect to our lesson today as an introduction to the week. We know that can lead to what's going on right now in the world, can lead to a lot of these emotions that we feel. And whether it's sadness, anger, we feel fear, we're bored, we're excited, and even more. These are just 5 examples. We teach in mindfulness, these are all okay. There are no good or bad emotions, and that emotions come and go. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling an emotion. You're allowed to feel how you feel. It's what you do with it that makes the difference. So for me, for example, I used to suppress my emotions. I used to hold everything in and just pretend like everything was okay, but it really wasn't. And it wasn't healthy. It didn't, inside it didn't feel good, and it really started to affect my mental and physical health in a really bad way. So I had to learn to accept my emotions and not attach to those emotions as if something's wrong with me. And I really, really had to learn that it was okay to be angry once in a while. It was okay to be scared and sad once in a while. And I could, that those feelings would come and go, just like visitors. They're not going to last forever. And now I know they really don't because of my practice. It takes practice. That's not easy. So keep an eye on your emotions in this moment and for the week. And the reason why we do that, one of the ways we do it is when we say name it to tame it. So we can name our emotions in order to tame them or control them. So if we're naming them, we're using our prefrontal cortex, reducing that amygdala activity, and we are in control. So we can tame it. So we can control that emotion so it doesn't control us. So we don't flip our lid. And when we flip our lid, remember, we lose access to our prefrontal cortex. Our amygdala takes over. We call it an amygdala hijack. We're in fight, flight, freeze mode. And then we just react instead of responding skillfully. So that's where mindfulness comes in. It helps us keep that lid on, remember. So that's why it's really, really important for us to practice it. So name it to tame it. We're going to talk more about that later in the week. So the emotions practice is really important. And we want to make sure we're doing emotions practice just like all our skills with what's called heartfulness. So heartfulness is simply kind words, thoughts, and actions to ourselves and to other people. Well, here's the thing about heartfulness. You got to give it to yourself first, what we say, filling up our own bucket before we can give it to others or fill up their bucket. So a lot of times we just give, and we forget about ourselves, and then we're depleted. We don't have anything left for people. And it's really, really hard to give it if we don't have it ourselves. And I know, coming from myself, somebody who wasn't always very kind to myself, who didn't love myself, who talked down to myself a lot of times, didn't believe in myself, that was a really hard practice to do heartfulness. And now I've learned a lot better how to do it because I've accepted that I'm worth it. And that's really a really super important concept. I've met so many young people that don't feel they're worth it, and they don't even allow it in. They're so used to having so many negative things said about them, or they've been let down by people in their life that they just believe they're not worth it. And so I hope you don't experience that, but if you do, just know that you are worth it. And this heartfulness practice is really, really important, so you feel like you are an important human being on this earth, wherever you are. So we want to note that whenever we're practicing mindfulness, being present without judgment, we're also doing it with heartfulness. Mindfulness and heartfulness go hand in hand. So while we're being present, we're being very, very kind to ourselves. And we're allowing ourselves the capacity to then give it to others in lots of different ways. So again, we'll dive into these in more depth later on in the week in other videos. But one of the main ways we practice that heartfulness to ourselves, we're going to practice sending us some kind words, just like we said. So put your hand on your heart if you're comfortable with that as we close up here, and simply repeat after me. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be strong. May I be peaceful. And may I be loved. And know that you deserve that. If that was hard for you in any way, that's okay. It just takes practice, but it is an important practice. If it feels weird, that's normal too. If it's not a useful something you're not used to as well. I felt a little weird in the beginning too. It's not a problem. Just know that you're worth it. All right. So feel that, and then we can extend it to others. So you can imagine somebody else, hold them in your heart, hold that special person in your heart, somebody else you think deserves a little heartfulness, and you can imagine them and send that out to them as well, whoever they are, relative, friend, teacher, whoever. Imagine them receiving that and how they feel too. I know I'd feel good if I received that. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this very short video. Thank you for choosing to practice mindfulness and prioritize your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Everybody take care now. See you next time.